Hello everyone, TimeToGrind here, and yes, I know, haven't uploaded a video in the last week or so. I have been pretty sick. It hurt to talk some of the time, honestly, but I'm feeling a little better. I'm not feeling perfect, but I'm feeling good enough to start talking about the gaming industry again. And there was so much stuff I wanted to talk about when I was sick. One of the biggest things being the Activision-Bungie split, where Activision isn't going to take the rights to Destiny, so Bungie's getting to keep it, and it's hopefully going to make Destiny a better game, and Destiny 2 a better game, because they're not going to have to worry about how greedy Activision is. But overall, we'll have to see with that. But today, I wanted to, as you can already tell by the time this is uploaded, we're uploading this very late today. I want to talk about something a little lighter. So I wanted to talk about the upcoming features coming to Steam in 2019 and beyond. So a couple days ago, Valve put out on the official Steam group, Steamworks development group, where they talk about all the updates to Steam, they put out a blog post talking mainly about 2018 and all of the work that went into Steam in 2018, all the features, everything that came out. So the experimental Steam TV, the all new Steam chat, all the work they put into the controller aspect of Steam, and all the work they put into the servers and everything like that. And overall, it was a very interesting read. It took me about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes to read, and I'll link it down in the description down below in case you guys want to read it, because we're not going to go over that too much. But at the bottom of it, they gave some kind of bullet points of features that you can expect in Steam in 2019 and beyond. And obviously, a lot of this could change, but it's interesting to see what's in store with Steam in 2019. So the first thing, just to start us off, is store discoverability. It says, we're working on a new recommendation engine powered by machine learning that can match players to games based on their individual tastes. Algorithms are only a part of our discoverability solution, however, so we're building more broadcasting and curating features and are constantly assessing the overall design of the store. So this is kind of like if you weren't around when Steam didn't have tags, it didn't used to have the community tags, and it also at some point you couldn't filter out by certain tags. So right now, if you don't like anime games or something like that, you could just completely filter out the tag anime, and it's not perfect, but overall it gets the job done. But just all these little features like that, and just kind of these algorithms that try to figure out what you want to play and what you don't want to play, those have all kind of already started to be a thing. We're just going to continue seeing new updates in that department, which is to be expected, but it's good. Overall, if you don't want to see a certain type of game and there's an algorithm that can prevent you from seeing that kind of thing, it's pretty good, and I think it's worth looking into improving that, so that's good there. Then the next thing we have is Steam China. So it says, we've partnered with Perfect World to bring Steam onshore into China. We'll reveal more details about this in the coming months, and this is kind of expected. Steam has partnered with Perfect World to bring, say, CSGO or Dota 2 to China, and Perfect World censors all those games and everything like that, because China has all these weird censorship laws like we've talked about, and then they put it into Steam. And China really is strict on video games as a whole, and so a lot of people are kind of mad that Steam is doing this, but if they didn't, most likely at some point Steam would probably just be banned in China, and with PC gaming on the rise, they'd rather just take it safe and just work with Perfect World. So it's understandable, not fun because, having to deal with censorship, but it's to be expected. The big thing here that a lot of people are talking about is the Steam library update. It says some long-awaited changes to the Steam client will ship, including a reworked Steam library built on top of the technology we shipped in Steam Chat. So the Steam Chat update was pretty much just they reworked Steam Chat like it sounds, new UI, some new kind of ways to go around through the UI, and there's a lot of new features with Steam Chat, and there's the Steam groups and group chats and all this stuff like that. That was all improved in that update. So they're kind of just bring that kind of similar technology over to your Steam library, and it'll be interesting. One thing is, a lot of people are kind of worried because the Steam Chat is a little buggy for some people. It works perfectly fine for me, but I've heard a ton of people saying that it's just maybe even small things like the Steam Chat takes 15-30 seconds extra to load, and there's just a black box in its place, or similar things like that. And so for the people that are experiencing those issues, this probably is going to bring those issues just right over to the Steam library, and that's not going to be fun, but hopefully they work into that. And for the rest of the people that it doesn't screw over, overall it'll probably be a pretty good thing, because as much as I don't really use the Steam Chat that much, but I can without a doubt say the new Steam Chat is so much better than the way it used to be. Then we have new event systems. We're upgrading the event system in the Steam community, enabling you to highlight interesting activities in your games like tournaments, streams, or weekly challenges, and that's just a kind of good thing. It depends on how developers are going to use it, or group moderators or anything like that, whoever's going to use that, but it could be used very well, and it's just Valve providing all these extra tools for people to use them if they want. So that's just pretty good, and that's awesome. Then we have Steam TV. We're working on expanding Steam TV beyond just broadcasting specific tournaments and special events in order to support all games. So they're kind of trying to put a streaming service like Twitch TV or the YouTube streaming into Steam. They've been trying to do that for a little bit, but just recently they kind of rebranded it all and stuff with Steam TV, and that's how they broadcasted some of the early Artifact tournaments and stuff like that, and it seems interesting. It's one of those things where I don't know if it'll ever catch on beyond like tournaments of games running them, but we'll have to see, and it's interesting, and at the very least it's competition for things like Twitch and YouTube streaming. Then we have Steam Chat. We're going to ship a new Steam Chat mobile app so you can share your favorite gifts with your friends while on the go. So that it's no use to me. I mean, if I'm messaging anybody, I'm, texting them, or if they're gaming people, I'm going to be sending them something on Discord. But I don't know, it's whatever. It's not really a negative besides the fact that they're putting time on it. I think this is one of the least important things on here, but I mean, it's not changing anything we know for the worse. It's just kind of something new. It's a new mobile app. Most people won't use it, but it's there, so you get what you get, I guess. Then you got Steam Trust, and this is one of the ones that has excited me the most. The technology beyond trusted matchmaking on CSGO is getting an upgrade and will become a full Steam feature that will be available to all games. This means you'll have more information that you can use to help determine how likely a player is a cheater or not. So how it kind of works in CSGO, there's a lot of great videos about it on YouTube about it, but pretty much in CSGO, the game not only has its VAC ban system where it'll ban people that are obviously cheating and keeps constantly banning new people. Not only does it have that, but it has something called like the trusted matchmaking, and it's where the game kind of tries to believe if you're a cheater or not. It kind of tries to just look at your behavior in the game, and a lot of features like, well, is this person a new account? Does this person have friends that have old accounts? It looks at your Steam profile, it looks all these different factors in game and out of game, and determines how much it trusts that you're a legit player, and then it puts you up against people with kind of similar trusts. And then with CSGO you have the prime matchmaking as well, which is a whole nother thing, so it separates the queues even more. But generally with trusted matchmaking, it tries to match you with people that it trusts the same. So eventually, once you play enough and stuff like that, you'll be trusted fully because it'll obviously know you're not a cheater, and you'll be playing with all of the non-cheaters. But up until it fully trusts you, you're going to be going up against people who it trusts just as much as you. And they're expanding that to a bunch of other games, to all games actually, anybody that wants to use the technology, and that's really good because there's a lot of games out there that are, want to be multiplayer games, but then they have to rely on stupid anti-cheat, like easy anti-cheat. I'm not the biggest fan of that. So just Steam giving free resources out to all games is going to be really cool because I think it works actually decently well in CSGO. I think it helps a lot, and so for that to be expanded to other things is going to be amazing. And then the last thing on this list is Steam PC Cafe program. We are going to officially ship a new PC Cafe program so that players can have a good experience using Steam in hundreds of thousands of PC cafes worldwide. If you're from the US like I am, you might know what PC cafes are, but we've probably never been in one. They're pretty much just, in a lot of other countries, especially a lot of Asian countries, PC cafes are gigantic. There's just a bunch of really nice computers, and then you pay per hour or whatever, an admission fee to use the computers, and then you can log into your Steam account or stuff like that. And it's pretty big, just not really in America. So they're just adding more support where you can more easily use your Steam account on different PC cafes, which is just a positive thing, because although I don't really know what it's like to have to deal with that, I know it is an issue, and it's great that Steam is, guiding stuff like that, because that's something like, when I talk a lot about China and how Valve is having to do different things like censoring or working with Perfect World to worry about censorship, and I always talk about that in a negative light because they're having to do extra work because of censorship and stupid government things like that. But with something like this is just kind of the culture. Just the culture in other countries is PC cafes. It's just more of a thing, and it's just Valve doing more work to support that, but there's not like malicious intent behind it like the censorship. But either way, these are all the things that they highlighted what was going to be coming in 2019 and beyond. And one thing I want to tie into this is the Epic Game Store, because the Epic Game Store had a little bit more of news while I was sick. A couple things happened with it, and although I think that the way the Epic Game Store is kind of starting out is terrible, they're just buying exclusives, which is just anti-consumer. You know, exclusives, the way they're going about exclusives is anti-consumer, and all of these things, and they're creating competition by being anti-consumer. So normally the point of competition is good for the consumer, because, you know, everybody wants to have to compete with each other, so the consumer's going to win because people are competing. But with Epic Games, the consumers still end up winning because, you know, Steam's having to obviously get better and better and better to compete, because it has to compete about Epic Game Stores, but they're buying exclusives and stuff like that, and that itself is being anti-consumer. But I do think that Steam and Valve is feeling an effect on the, you know, feeling pressure on themselves to keep improving Steam. And especially with all of the, one thing I think that's interesting is one of the biggest differences between Steam and every other game client out there is the social aspect. There's so many features in Steam with the, you know, trading card system, the inventory system, the market system, all of the groups and stuff like that. There's so much. The workshop, I mean, the Steam workshop is insane. There's so much stuff Steam has to offer, and it just keeps trying to improve in that department, because that's the biggest way to me that Steam stands out from other game stores. So I think we're going to keep seeing a lot of more updates in that type of department, but it'll overall be very interesting, and I think Steam is starting to feel the pressure, and we're going to get more and more updates, and more obvious updates to Steam too in the future, because the more obvious the update, the more people realize that Steam is working hard, and, you know, people like that. It's good for PR. So they'll probably keep bragging about the updates like they did in this one. But overall, this is the first video on from my little break of being sick. If you guys have any opinions on this, let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, then consider leaving a like down below and subscribing to see more content. New videos come out every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday when I am not sick. And like always, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day.